各位好，线上朋友欢迎回到现场哦。我们紧接着要邀请这个MS 的这个 CVP Charles 来为我们分享MS Power Platform 这个平台它的最新的技术战略以及它的技术路线。我们进入与这个看这个 Charles 的分享。
Thank you everyone for joining today. My name is Charles Lamana and I'm the Corporate Vice President for Microsoft focused on low-code platforms.Today, I'm going to be covering the Microsoft Power Platform strategy and vision, and I wanted to go extend a warm welcome to all of the excited Power Platform developers in the Greater China region. We're very excited to share some details and an important announcement today. Before I jump into the details of the Power Platform, I always like to set the stage and the context as to why Microsoft cares so much about low-code development.The reality is that there's a vast and significant demand for creating applications in the enterprise. There's going to be 500 million new applications created in the next 5 years, which is more than all the applications created in the last 40 years. In fact, mobile application development demand is growing 5 times faster than IT can satisfy it in general. And despite all of this, 86% of organizations struggle to go hire developers to fulfill their development needs.All of these things are combining to drive a very significant change in how application development happens, and that's through low code. In fact, Gartner predicts that 65% of enterprise application development will be using low-code platforms in just the next 4 years. This is the environment in which Microsoft has chosen to create the Microsoft Power Platform. When we look at the Microsoft Power Platform, it's a single low-code platform that spans all the Microsoft clouds, whether it's Office 365, Dynamics 365, or Azure, in addition to creating standalone applications and solutions. It includes Power BI, which is a low-code way to analyze and slice and dice all of your data in your enterprise. It includes Power Apps, which is an easy, simple way to create powerful web and mobile applications without having to write any code.As well as Power Automate, a low-code solution for business process automation, as well as robotic process automation. And lastly, the most recent addition is Power Virtual Agent, which is a low-code way to create chatbots. Together, these 4 elements are supported by the Common Data Service, over 300 data connectors, and AI Builder. And altogether, it's an incredibly powerful tool to solving your development needs inside the enterprise.In fact, if you look across the market, over 97% of the Fortune 500 currently uses the Power Platform worldwide. This is across all industries, all sectors, and all these large companies. You can see broad adoption across Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent, solving the most important needs and most agile needs for all of these companies.And to drill down into Power Apps a little bit more, it's a low-code approach to building applications. You'll see more in a demo in just a couple of minutes, but you can see inside the screenshot, it looks just like PowerPoint and Excel combined, provides a very easy development surface to create those web and mobile applications. And these apps work across all form factors, iOS, Android, in the browser, on your PC.You can build an application once and have it run anywhere and connect to all of your business data. And what's great is that data connectivity. There's over 300 data connectors available out of the box. From Adobe to Zendesk, all kinds of different business applications, SaaS, and databases. So when you create a Power App, it's never operating as an island. It can always reach out and connect to all your other business data and integrate with your existing business processes and workflow.An important part of Power Apps and all of the Power Platform is the fact that it has strong enterprise governance. That means it's incredibly easy to create an application, but it's also incredibly easy to govern them and ensure you're being compliant and secure throughout your organization, making it so business users and citizen developers, all the way to IT professionals and professional developers, can build applications that work and adhere to all your security needs as an enterprise. And lastly, Power Apps has incredibly rich integration with professional developer tools. This makes it so that you can go extend your Power App by writing code when it makes sense and in a way that makes sense. so you can increase your velocity without having to compromise on that low-code first mission. And this incredibly innovative set of capabilities is what's made Power Apps be recognized by Gartner as a clear leader in enterprise low-code application platforms. In very short order, Power Apps has driven rapid adoption as well as broad awareness in the press and through these analysts. So you can start to see just the incredible potential and capabilities of this brand new type of application development. And what's really important about Power Apps is it's fairly complete. It's not just about building UI. It includes a broad range of capabilities. Things like automation and workflows through Power Automate, or advanced UI customizations, whether it's data-driven and schema-driven with view and forms, or UI first through a completely open canvas like you'd expect inside a PowerPoint. On top of this, you have rich things like deep sharing and deep security around your data and applications to make it so that you can manage your apps just like you would something built by a developer. And of course, it extends on and on. There's advanced application lifecycle management capabilities, advanced governance and backup capabilities, advanced code plugins, as well as richer capabilities, all available underneath Power Apps. So it's a full stack application platform development environment, from UI to logic to data, fully managed and fully capable without requiring managing cores or compute or memory, all fully encapsulated inside of a SaaS product. And of course, one of the things we like to always go back about Power Apps is the data connectors. Over 300 of them. Make it so that when you build your Power Apps, you can go connect to all your existing systems without having to compromise and without actually fracturing or splitting apart your IT landscape. And when we talk about those rich workflows and those rich automation capabilities, that is through Power Automate, a key ingredient of the Power Platform. It supports all kinds of graphical authoring of API-based automation, UI-based automation, or robotic process automation, as well as AI-driven understanding of analog content like documents or text or videos or photos. You can go automate across all of it using Power Automate. And this rich single platform for automation is one of a kind, supporting modern systems through API as well as legacy applications through UI automation. And the thing I like to always call out is Power Platform is a platform that works together. The same governance and security capabilities of Power Apps also apply and also integrate seamlessly with Power Automate. So when you create data loss prevention policies, or you want to go manage who can create solutions, it applies across all elements of the Power Platform in a very natural and continuous way. And just like Power Apps as well, Power Automate supports professional developer extensibility. You can go write logic inside of a plugin or through a custom connector, hosted in any cloud, hosted anywhere, and invoke it from Power Automate or Power Apps, all as a single platform and all without, again, having to compromise in that low-code first approach. And that's what makes Power Platform so special, is that you can really start with no code, go to some code, low code, and then go all the way to code first, all without having to compromise and all without falling off a cliff. And rounding out Power Platform is that AI capability. The AI Builder offering provides a low-code AI solution for apps and processes. It makes it easy for you to easily understand content that you're using, whether it's digital paper like a PDF or a scanned document, or text, or even detect objects inside an image. It's all integrated seamlessly inside of Power Apps and Power Automate. And what's great is at the core of Power Apps is something called the Common Data Service. That's where all the data, logic, and security resides. And it naturally integrates with AI Builder. So you can run predictions on any data stored inside the Common Data Service. And these predictions just appear like any other field inside of Power Apps. And this seamless low-code integration is what makes the Power Platform so capable and so powerful under a single solution. Another item I like to call out, which is really unique about AI Builder, is how you build the models. You don't have to go write Python. You don't have to have data scientists. In fact, it uses something called machine teaching, where you upload sample documents and label them, and that could be done by a business user or an end user. And then based on that, we will automatically, inside of AI Builder, generate the model for you. And this is how you can have incredibly tailored, highly specific models for your solutions without having to go have an army of data scientists to go create them. And all of this integrates inside a single solution across the Power Platform. And one of the best ways to show all of these great capabilities working together is through a demo. So for this next section, we're going to look at GSK, which is a life sciences and healthcare provider of tools for their customers, and how they use the Power Platform with Power Apps, Power Automate, AI Builder, Power Virtual Agent, and Power BI to create something called the Zero Accident Promotion Application, or ZAP, which is focused on reducing workplace hazards and workplace accidents. So let's switch over to my phone to see what it looks like.
Now, looking at this Power App, this was authored by GSK to go have field agents out in the operations to report potential risky items or issues in their facilities. And this is part of that Zero Accident Promotion, or ZAP, process. And I can see that I can go look up active ZAPs that are in my area. And this is actually using geolocation information, GPS, and supports an interactive map. So I can easily go explore what are all the potential hazards near where I'm working and go report new ones over time. And this map control is one of those brand new announcements in the Wave Run release. In this case, if I want to go drill into one of the ZAPs in particular, I can see that there's all the different information about what the potential risk is. In this case, it's a slippery area in the hallway, which is a fall hazard. I can report this as an issue. And what's great is I can go have a highly interactive consumer-grade experience to go compute the risk of this issue, allowing them to codify the potential problems. Additionally, there's a policy in GSK of if you see something, do something. So if there is a potential risk, you're supposed to go take an action on top of it. And this action is supposed to prevent a potential hazard for someone in the future. And if we look here, I can see there's a text box where I could maybe record via voice to text or anything like that to go record the action that I've taken. But one of the brand new capabilities we've announced for the April release is the new MR capability. So what this allows me to do is use my phone camera, and I can go drop on in real space what the mitigation is I want to take. So if I say, go drop a cone right here, I can see that it's now pinned in space. And this allows me to go visualize what my mitigation would do, as well as to go track what would happen over time. And this makes it very easy to have advanced understanding of the problem that my users are facing. And the best way to go understand how this was created is to go look at how I actually built this application inside of Power Apps. So I've now switched over to Power Apps Studio, and we can see in this experience, it's just like PowerPoint and Excel combined, very easy, very straightforward. And the same app that I was just viewing on my iPhone is also visible right here in the browser. So I can easily build cross-platform applications. And what's great is if I click through, say, edit a draft ZAP, just like I did on my phone, we can see that that map control is missing. And this is where I just want to go add that new capability, which is that new map control. And what's great is these map controls aren't static. They can interact with all the same data you're used to inside of Power Apps. So in that case, I just bound it to all the active ZAPs as a data source. And just like that, a refresh in real time, showing me all the data points that have a ZAP issue recorded right now. And down here, I have the same list of the active ZAPs that I saw on my phone. And when I go take the action, if I want to go drop on the MR component, I don't need to be a sophisticated MR programmer who knows Unity or 3D programming. There's just an out-of-the-box control inside of Power Apps called View and AR. And what this allows me to do is I can just drop this right on top of this form. And now, whenever people are taking an action to go respond to an issue, they can go see it in 3D space and understand what their mitigation would look like. And all of these new capabilities are just integrated with all the stuff you already know and love inside of the Power Apps Studio. However, GSK, like a lot of our customers, isn't able to go transform all parts of their business at once. There are still elements that use pen and paper because not everybody has a mobile device. And the way it works is people actually fill out a form much like this, which is a mixture of printed tables in addition to handwriting. And one of the challenges is, how do I go capture this type of zero accident promotion or ZAP data in a digital way, in a structured way, much like I do for my Power App? And that's where AI Builder comes in. So AI Builder forms processing, which is going GA with the Wave 1 release in 2020, supports understanding handwriting as well as text-based forms. And one of the best ways to see this is to do one of these quick tests for my local device. So if I drop up a form real quick, what will happen is this goes through a pre-trained model that I programmed by example, by something called machine teaching, without having to use any data science or writing any Python. And we can see that even though this form is multiple pages, it's understanding that this is a table with a particular schema and capturing all of that data. And this is really transformational because so much of business is still in this unstructured content. You can now get access to it in a structured, business process-oriented way using AI Builder. And the way I would go use something like this AI Builder model, is inside of Power Automate. So in this case, I have an email trigger. So when a new scanned ZAP document arrives over email, I will go look at each attachment using AI Builder. And this is using that same model that I was just testing for you guys. And you can see that it's actually extracting all the relevant information and inserting it inside the SQL database. So this is the Power Automate Visual Workflow Designer. AI Builder is just very naturally, natively integrated to make it very easy to bridge the unstructured and structured world using the Power Platform. And this is really only the beginning of it, because what GSK also wanted to do was, if an item was particularly risky, if it had more than a risk score of 8, they wanted to go record it in a legacy Win32 application that they have. And the problem with this is that this application doesn't have APIs. It wouldn't have APIs. It would require UI automation. And for that, you want to go use the brand new UI flows or robotic process automation capabilities in Power Automate. So in this case, I'm inside the Power Automate experience. I launched this recorder. And what I have to do is just, if I click record, I can just simulate what someone would normally do when using this application. And all of these steps, like say going file new item, say capturing the description of the incident, putting it inside of this form. And as you can see, this form is not a more modern experience, but it's very easy for me to go drop on all these different fields and have it be parameterized to be used in normal automation. So I'll just stop there after 2 steps because I think we get the point. And if I go back to the browser, we can see my Power Automate UI flow has been updated. It's now capturing all the steps that I just did. We can see I clicked file. You can see I clicked new. We can see that I put text in this text box from the incident parameter. And all of this is captured using 3 different types of rules and AI to make sure we're always choosing exactly the right control on the form across Windows updates as well as application updates. And the way I would use this UI flow is right inside of that Power Automate experience. So we can see trigger from SQL. Whenever a ZAP is created with a score greater than 8, I would want to go run this UI flow. And all the parameters from SQL are flowing into that UI flow. And what's amazing about this, if I just do a quick test, is that this can run unattended. So all of my unattended automations are running on a server farm in the cloud. And what this is doing is it's actually going to go fire up the GSK application, and it's going to run it automatically and provide all those same inputs. And what's great about that is it makes it easy for me to go automate across lots of different UI automations. Yeah, there we go. And we can see that it's running right now, and it's entering all the different file new incident to report, as well as capturing the outputs from the SQL database. So all of this is seamlessly tied together, whether it's AI, APIs, or UI, you can automate across all 3 using the new RPA capabilities in Power Automate. Now, there's 2 more things I want to quickly show. The first is, if we look at this Teams channel right here, I want to go create a chat bot on top of all of those apps, because not everyone wants to go use an app, and maybe they want a conversational experience. So I can walk up to this Zap bot I've created inside of Microsoft Teams and basically issue questions and commands. In this case, I want to manage my tasks. And these are the tasks that are the same backend using Power Apps and Power Automate. And I can actually go look up Zap number 120, and this will be extracted and will allow me to take actions right inside of Teams. So I can have an entirely conversational experience. And the way you build this is inside a Power Virtual Agent. And just like everything else in the Power Platform, you don't have to worry about being a coder or a programmer. You can do it visually. And of course, if you do want to go drop into code, that also is an option with Azure Bot Framework and all the Azure integration. And we can see that a fairly sophisticated chat bot is running here, and I can actually understand what it's doing with this tracing capability. And it makes it very easy to go build these different chat-based experiences. And last but not least, of course, is Power BI. So at the end of the day, I want to gather all this information about Zaps. I can now start to do reporting to understand what's generating hazards. So I can look at tier 1 resolved, I can look at tier 2 resolved, and actually understand what's driving all my different causes of these potential risks and potential accidents. I can even take action using an embedded Power App inside of the single Power BI experience. And this is a great example of how the Power Platform ties everything together.
And now that we've seen how easy it is to use the Power Platform and how seamlessly it all fits together, the next thing I want to talk about is the enterprise-grade governance and controls that exist inside of the Power Platform. The first piece of that is the world-class application lifecycle management capabilities. Power Platform makes it easy for you to go build solutions that you move between pre-production, user acceptance test, or even development environments and production, and to do it in a way where you're not going to compromise on quality or security. A key piece of that is how it has deep integration with the rest of the Microsoft Cloud. Components like GitHub and Azure DevOps make it possible so you can follow a modern continuous integration, continuous deployment approach, so you can actually stage changes in source control, build them, and then deploy them, and actually manage that entire pipeline end to end from developer to end user. And another important piece of it is that there's built-in automation testing capabilities throughout the platform. In Canvas applications, you're able to use the brand new test recorder capabilities to actually simulate an end user's consumption of your Power App, which you can then play back whenever you have a new release to make sure you haven't regressed or impacted any of your existing functionality, as well as something called Easy Repro, which is an open source professional development testing toolkit where you can actually run through all of your application end to end and make sure that you're shipping high quality components. And all of these items fit together to make it possible. So although Power Platform is low code, you are not compromising on what a normal professional developer would expect for a rugged end-to-end deployment and development environment. And another important piece of this is the enterprise-grade infrastructure that supports the Power Platform. That's things like incredibly robust reliability, backed with a service level agreement or service level availability promise. So it's actually part of your consumption of the Power Platform. Additionally, extensive compliance with dozens of certifications and protocols like ISO 27001 or FedRAMP and other country requirements. So you can count on all your data and usage to adhere to the highest standards and most strict requirements, as well as making sure that no Microsoft employee has standing access to data. In fact, you can have a completely transparent operational model where you can ensure that you know exactly how and in what circumstance data could be accessed and by whom, as well as many protections for more advanced configurations around all the data you store inside the Power Platform and the associated cloud. And lastly, all of the Power Platform is secure by design. It's built to make sure that you're not compromising on security, even though you're inside this low-code, no-code environment. And in terms of product capability, there's three really important things I want to call out. The first is that identity and access is managed via Azure Active Directory, the standard identity provider for all components of the Microsoft Cloud. So if you already know it and already have users configured, it should be entirely familiar to you. In addition to data loss prevention policies, so you can control which data connectors and which data services can be used and ensure that no data is leaving your organization or enterprise that you don't want to. And lastly, encryption at rest as well as in transit. So all of your data is always protected to ensure that you can trust any part of your business to run on top of the Power Platform. And again, all of these incredibly robust capabilities are supported on top of a low-code development environment, really one of its kind. And although we like to talk a lot about the low-code capabilities of Power Platform, it's not only low-code. It's actually low-code and code when it makes sense. In fact, we have this idea of no limits or no cliffs, which means that you can develop faster than you could ever have done before by combining professional developers together with Power Apps. And what this means in practice is that you can integrate all of your rich Azure services that you are already developing or looking at using natively inside of Power Apps. That means you can go connect Power Apps to things like your Azure Web App or Azure API Management. So your API first strategy, which is already hosted inside of Azure, works seamlessly inside of Power Apps. Additionally, there are dozens of Azure services which have connectors inside of Power Apps. So you can connect to all your Azure data bases and Azure data services seamlessly. That's Azure SQL, that's Azure Cosmos DB, Azure Data Lake, Azure Storage, you name it, you can connect to it naturally and natively inside of Power Apps. So all of your investments and anywhere where you want to use professional developers inside of Azure can still be used and still be leveraged inside of Power Apps. It's not Power Apps or Azure, it's Power Apps and Azure. And that's a much more powerful combination than either one on its own. And of course, I was just talking a second ago about that continuous integration, continuous deployment, CI/CD pipeline. Power Apps and Azure both work inside of GitHub, inside of Visual Studio, inside VS Code, inside Azure DevOps. All of it fits together so you can run your entire development environment as well as your entire application delivery strategy on the Microsoft Cloud in a very seamless way. And of these, there's one in particular I want to call out, and that is how you can leverage Azure resources with your custom connectors. It's possible to register any API hosted inside of Azure, on Azure Web Apps, Azure Virtual Machines, you name it, as something called a custom connector inside of Power Apps in the broader Power Platform. And what this means is that you can go use that custom logic specific to your enterprise inside of Power Apps, just like you would use any of the connectors shipped by Microsoft. This makes it incredibly easy and robust to go connect to all your existing IT investments. And if you have a system which may be legacy or something you built in-house and you want to go bring it into the Power Platform, there's a way to do it with this custom connector approach. And it's a first-class, integrated, rich user interface right inside of Power Apps, which allows all of your bespoke development, all of your custom applications and data services to be leveraged right inside of Power Platform with a low-code environment. So you can easily extend on all the different pieces of your enterprise. And an important piece of this is that connectors. We always talk about how it's really important that the Power Platform works in your development environment. That means with over 300 data connectors, and as well as the ability to go create those custom connectors, whatever system, whatever IT infrastructure you already have, it can just be wired up and connected into the Power Platform seamlessly without having to start over and without creating islands of data. And this built-in connectivity works in two very important ways. The first is it connects to everything in the cloud. Other SaaS applications, other Microsoft Cloud components that run inside your enterprise, you can connect to without any effort. But for all the assets and infrastructure which run on-premise, we have the on-premise data gateway. So you can use these same connectors to connect to a SQL server or a SharePoint server or an Oracle database or SAP, whatever it is, running on-premise in your own data centers on your own private network. This makes it possible so that even if you have elements of your IT landscape which aren't very modernized, you can still start to use Power Platform on top of it. And this is how we have customers who in just less than 12 months of adopting Power Platform can go from 0 to over 4,000 applications. And we have a ton of great customer stories where exactly that's happened. And this whole idea of data connectors is really critical to get to a modern view of your IT landscape. You want to connect all the different data, all the different services that you can inside of your solutions. A typical Power Apps application will connect to 3 or more different systems, and it can all do it seamlessly and transparently for the end user. This makes it possible to go across business process data, social, employee productivity data, social data, as well as important line of business enterprise applications, and provide a single view and a single integrated application experience across all these different pieces of data. And what's so special about this is that you can extend on top of your existing IT landscape, get value very quickly, but you can start to modernize and improve areas of your landscape transparently for your end users. You can go create a new Power App on top of a legacy system, or create a new Power App to streamline a business process that spans multiple legacy systems. The connectors, whether they're custom or out of the box from Microsoft, all make that possible, and all in a very straightforward fashion. And we've talked a lot about what Power Platform already has today. But an important piece of also Power Platform is how rapidly there's innovation on top of it. It's a fully managed cloud, which means there's always new updates coming. Throughout the demo, I talked about a lot of the new updates that just came out in 2020 Wave 1, which is the April release of this year, which is going to be available as part of the Power Platform worldwide. And the reality is we're shipping hundreds of features and improvements to the Power Platform every 6 months. And the demo, as well as some on the slide, are just covering some of the biggest ones, like general availability for forms processing inside of AI Builder, or the simplification of data visualization, as well as complex expressions inside of the Power Apps Canvas app component, or the ability to go use Portal Checker or Power Apps Monitor to easily debug and understand what could go wrong. We're always listening to our customers. In fact, we have an ideas website with over 1 million monthly active community members who are contributing suggestions for improvements, and we're always implementing and always adding to them. And that's one of the greatest components about the Power Platform, is that you're able to continuously take these updates with little to no effort and always be improving your applications and always keeping them modern on a single low-code platform. A constant stream of innovation available, provided by Microsoft, and to go unlock the creativity inside of your organization. And a key component of this as well is its global reach. The Microsoft Cloud is available across the globe. A very large number of regions for both Dynamics and Power Platform, and many different countries and many different data centers. And it's easy to go adopt where it makes the most sense for our customers. And this global reach is how we're able to constantly be improving SaaS product available to everybody around the globe. And one of the important pieces of this is that we're very excited to announce that Microsoft Power Apps and Power Automate is landing in mainland China by June 2020. In just the next couple of months, Power Apps and Power Automate will round out the Power Platform in mainland China. And we're very excited to announce this as part of this event because we know how much excitement and energy there is around the low-code, no-code development capabilities. And we're very excited to go partner from Microsoft with all of our customers to go explore and leverage the Power Platform to go solve their business process needs in transformative ways using AI Builder, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power BI. And so the last bit I'd want to close with as I close out this session is I'd want to, again, thank everybody for taking the time to watching this video, to appreciating that I'm recording it from home, and also to hear about the Power Platform, because we are incredibly excited for what the Power Platform means. Across Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Power Virtual Agent, you can really start to transform all parts of your enterprise to solve all different types of data and application and automation needs. And we're very excited to launch inside of mainland China in the next couple of months. And we're going to be tracking very closely as we work with customers and partners to see how they use the Power Platform to transform things throughout their business. So as the last call to action, I would say is please give Power Platform a chance. Please give it a try when we launch, and please let us know what you think. We look forward to hearing from you, and thank you again for taking the time to listen.
各位朋友，欢迎回到台北数位时代的现场哦。那我不知道各位刚刚跟我一起看了 Charles 有关于这个 Power Apps、Power Platform 还有这个 Power Automation 的这些不同的工具或者是服务，有没有感受到这种就是世界真的变得超快，有好多新的工具可以用自动化的工具来作为让一般人都有机会可以自己写这些工具，甚至自己用哦。那事实上他提到了一个关键字叫做 Low Code。就是低度的编程，也就是让一般的人有机会不要写太多的程式，就可以用到我们写程式的时候所要用的工具。甚至其实最近有很多人在谈 No Code， 就是甚至不要写程式，但是可以做到很多原本需要写程式才能做到的事情哦。那我比较想请教Tyan， 就请教那个志清，就是在这个看到这么多不管这个 Power Platform 这些自动化的工具的时候呢，你会不会去想到说，不管是我们最近提到的这个 No Code， 或者是这个刚刚这个 Charles 分享的这么多 Power Platform 的这些新功能或 Power Apps 的新功能的这种Low Code， 就是少度的写程式就可以做到这些事情，可以最终带来给不管是开发者或者是台湾的这些企业主，或甚至一般的大众有什么意义或特征
？OK， 在回答这个问题前，我先把我们赋能经验做个分享。我们一般在产业的，刚刚回到第一个 topic 就是微软 CEO 分享的就是科技素养，科技这个密度。OK，那我们在科技密度，我们会把产业分成大概有3个层级。第一个层级是数位化，这个数位化是说产业的部分可能还在纸本作业，可能还有一些线下作业。它第一个可能要数据化，变成是电脑作业，这是第一个。那第一个做完以后，接下来面临的第二个阶段是它要在线化。在线化做的事情是说，电脑都已经有了，可是如果只是离线的，它没有办法发挥重效。所以接下来第二个阶段我们会做的事情是，它把所有的服务电脑 connect 起来，然后变成一个 service，
让它 online。
对，让它 online。那第3个部分我们做的事情叫做智慧化或者是智能化。那这个阶段做的事情是说，已经变成一个服务，已经变成一个体系，可以互相纵横了。但是有没有什么东西是可以解放人类重复的工作，这是第3个阶段做的。那我就先分享这3个阶段，是因为台湾不同产业在不同的阶段会刚好 meet 到不同的阶段里面去。好，那举例来讲，可能在成熟产业，它不像高科技产业的话，它会在第一个阶段比较琢磨比较深。那比如说像是金融产业或者是电信产业，它可能会在第2个在线化跟智慧化会再多一些。那这个是产业的部分。那回过来就是我们过往说，一个成功的赋能会是怎么样运行的？那它大概会有2种合作方式，2种人来合作。第一种是我们叫 domain expert 产业专家，产业专家必须贡献自己的 know how， 然后透过跟电脑工程师或者是电脑专家的合作，去把这个东西变成刚刚说的数位化、在线化到智慧化。对，那过往在这个过程中，比较多的工会在工程师、电脑专家，但是刚刚听到这个 Power Platform 的这个相关的功能，其实我很 exciting、很兴奋的事情是，很多东西是接下来这个产业的专家他可以自己去把自己 know how 实践。那如果这个东西他觉得有成效，他觉得需要更多的效能或者是更好的应用，他接下来可以再找工程师。这样的合作，我会让2边都贡献出自己的所长。那我觉得这是未来是一个呼应就是 local 跟 no code 的一个部分。
我们看到刚刚你提到的这3个趋势，其实很像我们台湾一般或者是常见的这个产业在发展的趋势，先把它从原本的纸本类比化的作业变成是数位化的作业，或者是一直到让它 online， 让它连线， 让它变成线上的作业。接着最后是自动化，解放人类，不要一直去做那些重复很啰嗦很无聊的事情，要让人可以去做更值得做的这些价值，所以有几个不一样的特征哦。那事实上最近大家在流行谈，就是尤其是开发者圈开始谈这个所谓的 no code 或者是所谓的 low code， 就是低度编程的这种概念，事实上是真的在解放人类的这个东西哦。我不知道刚刚各位在比较早的这个直播上面有没有看到，就是维清跟我们的分享，他提到说微软有一个想法是希望以后让全民接扣，就是所有的人都可以写程式码。那个概念不是真的要所有人写程式码，听起来比较像是终极目标，让大家更方便的做数位化的工作哦。我看那个 Power BI， 其实那个界面刚刚我不知道大家在看分享的时候有没有觉得很像很久以前我们在看这个 editor， 就是我们在写文件的时候，或者是我们在做这个简报的时候，很麻烦需要自己写那个程式码，然后去排版。可是现在好像已经没这回事了。我们用 Word、用 Excel、用 PowerPoint 就可以很轻松的让所有的人都可以自己写文件、自己排数字、自己排表，然后自己做简报。那现在搞不好在未来的趋势上，是很多智慧化的作业也可以让您刚刚提到的这个 domain know-how 的人去执行。所以对于很多人来说，在专业领域上面就可以让他自己去发挥。你有对于这些专业领域的人会有什么样的期待吗？
专业领域的期待，在以往的过程中，这些专业领域的人要把这个 know how 去给其他人，是一个比较沟通成本是比较高的。那
因为他要跟程式的人写，然后要把所有的系统准备好，写下来，设计整套系统。
对，他要转换语言，那在这个沟通其实花费的成本是蛮高的。那这个工具其实看起来，刚刚我们比如说我们以金融产业来讲，我们要做机械流程自动化，那在中间就有一个工具可以看到，它可以把它的东西录下来，变成自动化作业，这在以往应该是做不到的，但是它现在透过这样的一个工具，变成是我不懂技术的人，我也可以透过我自己的流程，让机器帮我重复我的作业。那我觉得这是非常 powerful 的。
其实，在产业里面常常提到的这个所谓机器流程自动化，也就是所谓的 RPA。这件事情往往都需要产业的 domain know-how 的产业专家，同时跟工程师，还有甚至系统分析设计师，然后共同合作，最后可能还要完成一个资讯系统才能做完。可是未来这种工具有机会让他们直接做 RPA。
是的，是的。
对，我们刚刚的讨论在讲这件事的时候，还很开心的提到说，搞不好未来其实大部分的工具是由产业专家自己在开发，然后开发完之后，如果那些应用价值很高，或者是重复性利用，然后我们发现跑效能比较差的那些程式，才有机会再由程式设计师来撰写，重新撰写成系统了。这样也不代表 IT 的工程师没有工作，事实上也同时也是解放人类嘛，让大家都去做更有用的事。
是的。
对，所以看起来 Power Platform 其实是有令人惊艳的发展。如果接下来在台湾可以推行这相关的服务的话，我觉得很多人应该都会动手试试看。OK， 那我们这个进入了休息时间，请大家别走开。等一下我们会有最后一段，今天很不容易有4段落的分享。我们邀请到 GitHub 的 Michael 来为我们分享 GitHub 的发展，还有在企业怎么做内部开源。我们待会见。